In economics, luxury goods are described as goods that demand a higher price than their counterparts, known as necessary goods. Many understand luxury goods as those of higher quality. Others imagine luxury to be synonymous with elegance. Throughout the years, luxury has been seen as the ultimate symbol of status. But does this concept still ring true in 2018? In the past couple of years, clothing lines such as Vetements and Balenciaga have become more and more known for their controversial clothing. Clothing that sometimes looks as if they were handmade or a play off of a traditionally non-luxury item. The catch? These items have extremely high price tags and are therefore only available to the wealthy. So the question is, what caused the uprising of anti-luxury fashion? Has it always been around, or is it an emerging style within the last couple of years? What does it mean to dress in an anti-luxury style? We started by asking some of our most fashionable friends, those who are interested in style but do not follow the traditional values of luxury. How would you describe your sense of fashion?
Like somebody who thought that being a hypebeast was really cool about 2 years ago and is now broke and does most of their shopping at the thrift store.
So did you describe your sense of fashion as like an anti-luxury?
Probably. I think it's I would say, yeah, it's probably like, see, it's different because, okay, so I would say it's luxurious in the sense that it's nice things, you know, like I don't want the world to be populated by like fast fashion because I think that's really unethical. But I think it's anti-luxury as in you're not like displaying your wealth the way that I think the term luxury tends to get associated with. It's like anti-luxury in the sense that it's not what like the mainstream wants luxury to be, but I'm a firm believer that you should invest money in nice fabrics and like nice tailoring, nice cuts, because like you don't want to look like a buggo or an uggo.
So would you say that a hype beast is like a subsection of anti-luxury or related in any way?
I guess it kind of started out that way because when you look at a lot of anti-luxury clothing brands and stuff that's associated with streetwear, you know, you'll see brands such as Supreme come up, and they really did start out as an anti-luxury brand. They were really a big part of the counterculture, you know. Early to mid-90s, like New York scene skateboarding is their bread and butter.
Have you seen brands like, have you seen Vetements where they have, do you have any thoughts on that?
Humans love to kind of rebel against whatever is like happening in culture, right? So then if like everybody is saying that you're supposed to dress like really nice and look really nice, people are naturally gonna start being like, nah, I'm gonna wear rips in my pants or whatever.
It's really cool on one level that they're kind of making not being traditionally beautiful in, and I think that's a really admirable thing. However, it gets extreme. You know, like those fucking Balenciaga with their platform Crocs. Like, that's so fucking ugly. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
You are.
Okay, that's so ugly, guys. Please don't buy that.
My only other question is, do you think that the whole like counterculture, anti-luxury streetwear trend is like trying to send any sort of message?
I don't know. I think maybe like people who wear it before it was a trend felt kind of like they were sending a message. If it was like, you know, anything that's sort of a countercultural thing is sending a message to like the rest of society / like their parents. But I think once it becomes something that's like really in the mainstream, like I feel like I wouldn't even call anti-luxury like stuff countercultural really anymore, I guess. Like I think it started off like that. Now it's less so just because it's so prevalent and you see it everywhere, where like it doesn't really send a message except for the fact that you're conforming again.
But yeah, I'd say at this point streetwear is certainly part of, or rather hypebeasts are part of like the anti-luxury movement, but they're really making it come full circle.
What do you mean by that?
By that I mean, although it's maybe not necessarily luxury goods, they're spending absurd, ludicrous prices on pieces of clothing just for a brand name.
They were right. Upon closer inspection, we found that anti-luxury, or rather anti-fashion trends as a whole, have been prevalent for many years. Fred Davis describes this particular movement in his book Fashion, Culture, and Identity. Through his research, Davis shows that what one might originally assume is personal style and preference actually reflects the social and cultural forces at play in their society. Anti-fashion can be traced back to the Roaring '20s, when women began to dress in more masculine styles. What began as a counterculture and rebellion against the norm soon became the style of the decade. Throughout the history of fashion, we've seen it happen time and time again.
Let's keep it up! Well, Saturday night and I just got paid. Think about the money, don't try to save. My heart says go, go. Have a time for the Saturday night. Baby, how I feel fine, I'm gonna rock it up.
Think of the rock and roll style from the 1950s, punk fashion in the 1980s.
30 years ago, a new youth culture erupted onto the streets of London. It was provocative, brash, and uniquely British. It was punk.
Although these movements started with the intention of fighting back against societal norms, it wasn't long before elements of each style soon entered mainstream fashion and became the very thing that they were opposing.
Frankie and Minx started back in 2001. I was walking a trade show, and there was a company that had a pair of jeans that had tattoo art on them. And I walked over and asked the salesperson who the artist was, and she said, I don't know, I think one of our designers ripped it off of the internet. And that in itself pretty much was a rather corporate fuck you to the fact that someone worked really hard to develop that and concept it and make it and put it out there and be proud of their work, and someone ran and stole it.
There is no doubt that the anti-luxury fashion trend was created and popularized by millennials. In terms of values, research conducted throughout universities across North America found that millennials value choice, flexibility, convenience, personalization and customization, and confidence. Sound familiar? These are the same values that anti-luxury fashion puts forth, therefore creating a match made in heaven. We conducted a survey to gather more information and found that the vast majority of respondents were millennials. This is perhaps why the responses to examples of fashion from Vetements were, for the most part, positive. Saying things such as, dope concepts, took a while to grow on me, but I can appreciate its influences and background. I think it's very trendy and will die out soon. So sick, don't care what everyone is saying about them right now, still an ace concept of a brand, just maybe a bit too expensive, and it looks like something someone way cooler than me would wear. Not all who were surveyed were interested in Vetements, however. Many stated their opposition to the style. You have to wonder, though, if the controversy brought forth by Vetements and Balenciaga is part of the charm. Controversy gets people talking, brings in attention, both in the real world and online.
Jeff, you ready for your question?
I am.
Today's question. Millennials are major drivers in the fashion industry. How are they changing the market? Let's get 60 seconds on the clock.
First of all, nobody, and I mean nobody, would take fashion advice from me. So let's just talk about millennial trends as it relates to fashion. First, there are three things to understand. It has to be social, it has to be interactive, and it has to be personal. Social means it's about me, it's about my brands, it's about my channel, it's about my beliefs. And the reality is, if I have an amazing outfit that I buy from you, and it doesn't go on my Instagram account, does the outfit even exist? Second, it has to be interactive. Like, I want to be able to talk about things with my friends. I want to be able to show them. I want their approval. So having an interactive experience and creating opportunities for me to engage is important. And finally, it's got to be personal. I mean, fashion is an expression of myself. Everything from my hair to my outfit is fashion. And so I need to be able to express myself in a way that's consistent with how I want to be seen. So if you're hitting on those three things, you're winning big. And if you're not, just let me know so I can sell your stock.
We were the generation that grew up with magazines and television shows dedicated to telling us how to dress to be the most flattering, to fit an expected look. We were bombarded with rules on what you should wear based on your height, your weight, your body shape, and even gender. Could anti-luxury be the trend that breaks those rules and makes fashion fun again? Anti-luxury places an emphasis on creativity and allows anyone to wear anything and everything that they want and call it fashion.